Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Square Eye Syndrome. I'm Ben Gilman, as always. I'm joined by Tom Hill.
Hello.
Trey Salmon.
Sup?
And Dan Raj.
Yeah, that's me.
Awesome, fantastic. How are all you guys doing?
Whew, it was crazy.
I mean, it's quarantine, so apart from all of this, fine.
Well, besides the national new pass, someone staring at the walls of your flat, how have you been? I'm a champion gold medal at it.
I'm doing really well on Skyrim.
Oh, Skyrim. Oh, yes. Okay.
Oh, yes.
I still got mine in my sleeve, by the way. I played the PS3 one to death. The PS4 one is literally hidden away because if I do, I'll have no life.
I remember the PS3 version had when was it the PS3 didn't that have problems with the graphical it filled up your memory too much.
Yeah, the PS3 could not have hacked it. Trust me, the glitches was insane.
Yeah, I remember playing it on PS3 and I was really pissed off because I got the dodgy version and our mate Steve Troy got the 360 version and he had no trouble. Well, I had to keep deleting the game until a patch came across to fix it.
Yeah, it was a glitch. I actually remember. I remember the exact time it happened as well. It's still with me. Still with me.
Oh, great game, but I might get the PS4 version at some point.
See, I've just got the vanilla version on a 360.
You made the right decision that day.
Yeah, I really want to get all of the DLC because I've heard it's actually really good.
So my friend, you're welcome. Okay, so everyone's good, and Troy now. Well, just to give you some background info, Sheffield just had a power cut, so it's very lucky that Troy's here tonight.
Trust me, it was a last-ditch effort.
And that's why you should keep your sheep in a pen, mate, so they don't nibble your little circuit boards.
Still, congratulations on shimmying up that pylon.
Yeah, well done.
For us, I mean, people should be really grateful here.
I'm really impressed that Troy's obviously been sitting on his roof trying to get an internet connection with his little dish.
Oh my gosh! The amount of disrespect is off the charts right now.
Hey Ma, have I got a signal yet? Yes, I do. Fine. Just jump back in there.
I have you mind. I've got a top level Virgin. Come on now. Top level Virgin connection. Come on now.
Right. Let's do this then. Right, let's get down to brass tacks. Who wants to go first?
Who is on first last time? So.
See, we're not deciding this anymore. We're gonna be unprofessional and just make it fun.
Heck yeah, unprofessional as possible. Let's go.
I'll go first. Fine. Okay.
Go on.
So, fine. I'm going up first then. Fine.
Use on first.
Go on, Ben. Do it.
I'll call you that if you're going to take your time. Right. Horrible Histories is when I was younger. Great books. I'm sure Dan and Tom may remember. The books came first before the TV series. Horrible Histories, fantastic series of books that formed the TV show. Loved it when I was a kid because it made history fun and it was always funny and quite gory and poo related when you're a kid. That's funny stuff. So me and my wife have come across watching on Netflix Horrible Histories, and it's actually really clever and really funny. It's got what's his name, the Dobby Club boy from Peep Show in it. Jeff. Yeah, that's it. Jeff. Yeah, Jeff. And it's just full of loads of. It's like that Pixar thing of really well written for adults, but it's actually quite dark for kids because there's a lot of off-screen murder and poo-related gags and everything, and it is quite a good way to learn. Do you guys watch this?
I have seen it because someone I know is a religious fan of this. It's an absolute this is the best thing on television for them.
My nephew had a stupid death cake for their birthday. They are that big.
Wow.
That's brilliant. Stupid deaths.
Like, just
Troy seems to know as well. Troy seems to
Yeah, trust me.
understand.
That was a little bit of my childhood right there.
no, I'm completely with you on this one. It's a really well made show from some really well made books. The entire premise was a win from the off.
Yeah.
They
It's just
do
funny.
education, they do entertainment, they merge it together really, really well.
And it is quite dark. And I love how they just spin off like Cash in the Cash in the
Attic.
Cash in the Abbey, where King Henry VIII's going around trying to get as much cash as he can from his abbeys so he can go to war with France. And then there's Master Chef, Piss Takes. There's just a lot of little winks and nudges, like there's Come Dine With Me version. It's just funny all the time. They must have a blast writing this because it's sharp. It's never really ever not funny. And I don't know how after 6 seasons it's still funny. How?
It's amazing. I always remember the episode. There was an episode. It always stuck with me. When they said the history of the first black boxer.
Yeah.
Everyone was hitting each other in the face, like literally just standing there, like the fisticuffs. Bah,
Yeah.
bah.
Mm-hmm.
Then the guy just literally doesn't dodge because he's the first one to actually dodge. He wins the match and knocks the guy out. I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
On the side going, is he allowed to do that?
Exactly. Is he allowed to do that? Exactly. Is he from the
Exactly.
That was hilarious.
What's your favourite segment, you guys, that you've seen? So Troy's is boxing.
That was hilarious.
I quite liked when they did the marathon. So
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
So when they kind of interviewing the guy before he starts the race, and then he dies at the finish line.
Have you seen the one where the Roman runner goes up and down, and it's like a message, and they talk in modern speak text, and then one of them just like, "Love you, bye bye," and he's like, "Love you, kiss, kiss." Is that it? And she's like, "Yep, you can go now." To run up and down Italy. I just find it hilarious. I'm trying to think. I think my favourite one is the death, but they don't use them every week. They're very smart at when they use them. The weatherman, the one that does the weather and explains things.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
he's funny. He just goes. It's one take, and he just remembers everything and just does it flawlessly. He's my favourite as well.
Can I say one other thing?
Sure.
Whoever it is that's the production team behind it, it's easy to just get absorbed into it and it not really be a sketch show. It's just there's this flood of information coming at you and you're just letting it happen. It's really, really well put together for that effect, and it really, really helps with the actual history education going on.
I just find it brilliant, and it's for adults as well. It's that rare thing of a family show where when adults can enjoy a kids show, that's just well written right there. That's like hitting all the target audiences can enjoy it. I also love the Spanish King. If you remember him, he married a queen just to take over England and then left her. He keeps going, "I'm so bad, aren't I? You can boo if you so can." I love that show. So I wanted to big up Horrible Histories because, like, generally you forget sometimes how good British television can be for kids.
Great choice.
A lot of it seems dumbed down now, and it reminds me when I was younger, TV shows were really good. Really spoke to kids like they were adults, and this shows that type of really clever show. Also, I just wanted to talk about a Japanese anime because I thought, I've got a lot of anime in the back of my mind that I might bring in occasionally. I wanted to talk about Nana. Now, Tom is the non-anime watcher amongst the four of us.
Yep.
So I'm guessing Troy and Dan, you know what Nana is.
Actually, I don't.
Heard of it, never seen it.
Okay, so Dan has no idea. Tom has no idea. It's very quickly. It's about two girls called Nana. One is from outside of Tokyo. Another one is a rocker. So one is a girly Nana, and the other Nana is a rock chick who's coming from Hokkaido to live in Tokyo. They cross over, so they've got different surnames: Anna R and Anna H. It's about them living together and just it's just full of drama, and it doesn't do this anime romance thing. One thing I hate about anime is sometimes the love shows, they don't get together ever, or they do it until the last episode. Here, relationships can happen, and it's messy. It's not like Disney style romance. It feels like a real thing. People make mistakes, or get pregnant, or die in a car crash after taking a drug overdose. It's because there's two bands. So Nana O's band, boyfriend Ren, goes to join another band in Tokyo called Trap Nest, and he leaves their band Blackstone Cherries. But they replace him with a new young kid who's a bit of a whore. I'll get into him in a minute. Shin. So she takes her band to Tokyo to try and rival his band. And then the other Nana goes out with someone from Trap Nest. So you've got this crossover of band members knowing each other from schools and stuff, and it's all kind of interconnected. And one of them is a male whore who's 19 or 15 or 16, and he bails out of school, and he just becomes a prostitute, ends up falling in love with a real woman from Trap Nest. It's just really good. It's funny, but it can be quite sad. The tragic thing is the manga is unfinished, the comic that this is based on, because the author had a really bad illness, and I got to the end of it and there is no ending in sight of this. So unfortunately the anime gets around this by just ending with, well, life's shit, isn't it? That's what you get, which is a really sad way of ending the show. But I love it. It's one of those shows that I watched. I think I watched it. Troy will remember. I mentioned this when I first watched it about 8 years ago. Troy,
Yeah, wow.
I went away for a weekend and just rang you and went, "Yeah, I've done Nana," and it was like 51 episodes. It's quite a long show, half-an-hour episodes. But I must have stayed in my bed all weekend.
Binge mode. That's when you're in the binge mode that time.
It's a special show because I binge watched this. I was dead. I didn't sleep. I just kept watching episode after episode because I got so hooked into the storyline. And it is a shoujo, which is a girl's comic in Japan. But I'm a bit of a romantic guy, and I kind of appreciate this show. You know.
Okay.
So Nana, I don't know how you can watch Nana. It's on YouTube. That's illegal, but then again, the creators have had it up for 4 years. So if they're not taking it down, go watch it. It's all there. It's on YouTube. And Horrible Histories is on Netflix or BBC iPlayer. Okay.
Okay.
Done?
Next.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'll go next.
All right.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Serena, nah. I did that before. I did that before. Come on. Well, you did those amazing A-list 5-star shows. Hey, we all know this. We all know this. But let's go a little bit old school. Let's go a bit. How would you say? Go a bit 90s. That's how I'd say. Let's go about 90s right now. Okay, so first up, there's a show called Bone Chillers.
Who?
Bone Chillers.
Bone Chillers.
Anyone heard of that?
Don't think so.
Dan?
Nope.
Okay, so I'd say it's more like, how do I say, it's like Big Wolf on Campus meets Goosebumps. I'd say that, this type of show. Yeah, it's a weird show. It's a wacky show.
So is it like a show for kids, like aimed at the family?
Yeah, it's like that, yeah. It's like a teen, like kiddie show, but it's a great show. It's an amazing show. But let me give you a quick synopsis of it. It's based off like a novel, so it's kind of like a Goosebumpsy type thing. So 4 freshmen at Edgar Allan Poe High School. So Edgar Allan Poe High School. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You know what kind of show it is? We've got that kind of name for a school. You know what I mean? Yeah. So not only do you have to deal with the no pressures of competing with the cool kids and the jacks and all that stuff. It's a teen show, but at the same time, this school is evil. The school is like so evil, my God. There's a headmaster. There's a headmaster, right? It's called Principal Percival Pussman. This guy. This guy.
Who comes up with these names? Crazy.
No, I'm saying he's like the evil principal. Literally, is like all these
Stan Lee, right?
Stan. You know what? It kind of reminds of Stan Lee because literally there's comic stuff that happens in the show. Where basically this basically one of the episodes where one of the kids gets an actual sketchbook, and once he writes something in this, he basically draws something in the sketchbook. It was like someone's birthday, and he drew happy birthday, Betsy, or whoever it was. I can't remember what it was. That was time ago. Betsy. So I'm doing it from memory right now, and he drew this evil werewolf with a birthday hat on. And he goes, "Happy birthday!" That's her name, Sarah. "Happy birthday, Sarah!" She runs off, and literally, then he realizes, he goes, "Wait, everything I'm drawing is coming to life." So literally, it's like this is like one of the early Goosebumps like types of shows, Bone Chillers, around that kind of era where you had all those Goosebumps, I'm Afraid of the Dark, all those kind of TV shows around that kind of time. This is so underrated. This show is so underrated. I can't believe it. No one's actually heard of this show. And it's not anywhere as well. You can hardly find it anywhere except for YouTube right now. It's really weird. But I don't think it only had about 13 episodes. It was one season. But this is one of the greatest shows of all time. Just trust me. Trust me.
I'd like to remind people to take that with a pinch of salt because Troy believes it's on.
No. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Literally what I was about to say.
I knew one of you guys was coming. I knew it. I knew you guys were going to say something. I was waiting for this.
Come on, when you make a claim like that about
no, it is. Bone Chillers are all my days.
Plus evil school. Come on.
This is a man that once recommended Prison School.
Oh my days, it's amazing. Anyone that's seen Prison School, go watch it now. Go watch it now.
No.
That's a side note. But back on Bone Chillers.
Recommendations like that. I'm never watching this show.
What do you mean? Hey, anyone who likes that weird, wacky type of stuff, they love my recommendations, Joe. They love them.
Dan, I've saved your soul. You can give me a tenner later.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. Oh, and also, there's an episode where this new teacher comes in, and basically he gets infected by this radioactive frog. What? And so and he starts to like mutate, try to kill the kids in the school. It's amazing, yo. This is adult stuff within a teen show.
There loves a cockroach, a grasshopper from flipping Buffy season 1. Not good Flash.
Oh my days, Ben. He brought something up. Great point right there. This is basically like an early the teen version of Buffy. It's like a more lighter version of Buffy, but more wacky. I love it. That's a great analogy right there, Ben. There we go.
That's a good thing.
It's basically Buffy light in a way. It's a great show. It's a great show. I love it. It's for the kids. But there you go.
Always owe Buffy the Vampire Slayer for Alison Hannigan.
Alison Hannigan. I love Alison Hannigan. Oh my. Oh yes, I do. But yes, she's my favorite character, by the way. Willow. She's my favorite.
Her as Vampire Willow is one of my favorite moments in TV.
Oh, Vampire Willow.
Yeah.
Why did you just make her into a Cockney from Mary Poppins? Willow.
That's what I went. You don't remember that movie, Willow?
Oh, the classic film. Don't be knocking.
No, it's a classic, Ben. Come on.
David Bowie, Willow.
It's a great movie. That's a straight classic. Come on now. The disrespect. But yeah, but there you go. Bone Chillers. Watch it. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. I think Disney's got a right to it.
Would you start to know that Troy Salmon's opinions his opinions are
you won't be disappointed. If you like Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I will be making a comparison later on.
Check it out. Hey Dan, hey Tom, Ben, hey, check him out. That's what I'm going to say on that.
I'm excited to once again tell you, Square Eye Syndrome does not share the views of Troy Salmon. He's on his own.
Hey. Oh, come on now.
All right.
Okay, continue. So, Goosebumps is the next one up. As I was giving a little kiddie, little teenager stuff going on right now, talking straight 90s. Ooh, I'm ready. Okay, so Goosebumps. Everyone knows about Goosebumps. Straight classic. The books.
Just add Erie, Indiana, and you've got the whole set, mate.
I was always I was always reading Point Horror at that point.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they were classic.
That
I
is
love
a classic.
I loved the books when I was a kid. Like I've got a lot of time for Goosebumps.
Yeah, the group was amazing. I still got them right now. Literally, I got this literally
Just noticed
plastic
one
case.
Did you guys notice one thing though? They always had the same child actors come back again and again.
Yeah, you noticed that?
Yeah.
A bit confusing sometimes because they would have the same hairstyle. They'd be like, "Are you the same kid from 3 episodes ago? With that kid from the other episode last week, huh?
Didn't you turn into a goo monster? Why aren't you traumatized?
Why shouldn't you at least get a haircut or a wig or anything to pretend just to disguise it?" And the acting is terrible, but.
Okay. The acting in some of them is questionable, but they're kids, man. Come give them a break. They're kids, man.
Them again. But
Give Troy a chance to explain to us.
Exactly. Come on, give me time to explain.
Recommendation.
Yeah. R.L. Stein, baby. So I got to say
true.
R.L. Stein. Straight
Go
classic.
for it.
Also, one of the best intros of all time. So I'm gonna say on that as well.
Dun.
Yeah. Oh man, Goosebumps. Oh my days. Hey. I ain't trying to get no copyright, so I'm just gonna leave it there. So, on the, on the best intros of all time as well.
Striker.
Huh? Go on.
Anyone's going to copy Striker at this point.
So yeah, R.L. Stein, best-selling books, those TV show episodes like Perfect School. My gosh, Perfect School. That's inspired some animes, that's for sure. I know that for a fact. Perfect School, where literally they bring these kids to reform them at this special academy. The kids, basically, the parents just ship them off, and basically, what the episode, they're being cloned. So that's one of my favorite episodes right there. Perfect School. I think it's like a 2-part. Yeah, it's 2-part, I think. So they get cloned, and literally, how it ends is a quick mind spoiler. When the main kid, he manages to swerve his clone and lock him up and escapes, and the parents literally think he's just a brand new reformed kid. And great episodes, straight classic. And you got other classics like Monster Blood, which is basically Monster Blood. It's like a play on The Blob. Everyone's seen that straight classic, The Blob.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows about that.
Yeah, I know The Blob. Yeah,
everyone's a horror fan would know about that, or sci-fi fan would know about The Blob. So Monster Blood. And it's had the 2-part in that as well. More Monster Blood, where he was on the plane. So it's like The Blob on the plane, which is a straight classic in itself as well. And there's all sorts of like stuff from the books.
Doesn't that have Samuel L. Jackson in it?
Samuel L. Jackson.
When they can afford him.
Oh my god, this guy, bro, I love it. I love it right now. Straight but most of the stories are kind of like supernatural elements. Everyone hasn't seen the Goosebumps or heard of it, which is crazy. If you haven't heard of Goosebumps, I don't know what the heck you've been doing with your life.
Basically, though, I did love seeing the stories I read as early in my life become TV episodes. Even if I knew the ending, they always used to twist it a bit. They always used to try and throw the fans off a little bit as well. I respected that a lot.
Exactly.
The Game of Thrones, they tried to throw fans for a loop occasionally, and that was always
that's what Goosebumps is literally known for, just swerving people.
Okay.
There'd be like that's it. Like the last episode I just watched, I think it was a couple of days ago. It was a vampire episode, and what was it called? Yeah, that's it. Was it Vampire Breath? There we go. I was on the episode Vampire Breath, and they found this coffin in this, basically the basement of their house, and all these coffins were around the place. It was crazy. He got out, and they let out the vampire breath, and he absorbed the breath, and he became his full Dracula self, a full powered self. And his teeth, he didn't have his teeth. His teeth are missing because for some reason I don't know why his teeth are missing. And they got out, and his parents were like literally vampires. And then they realized they were vampires too. So like little twists like that, little swerves like that.
Yeah.
What keeps you on your toes with literally Goosebumps, yo. It's epic.
Right.
But yeah, there you go. So that is a Goosebumps for you.
Where can we watch those, Troy? Where can we know the Goosebumps is on Netflix if you want to watch it?
Yeah.
Bone Chillers?
Bone Chillers, yo. Hey, it's a really old show. There's not really much material out there except for YouTube. So literally, I just got to say, go straight to YouTube.
Go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's an all really old school show. They should have revamped it. I'm surprised they haven't done it because Disney's got a hold of it right now. Disney. I don't know when they're going to
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. My two choices.
So Tommy Knockers or Danny Boy? Which one's next? Stephen King reference. Tommy Knockers.
Tommy Knockers.
It sounds like he's got tits when I say that. Hey, Tommy.
Yes, thank you very much.
Actually, I'd like to take next.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Go on, Dan.
All right, just because the first one I'm going to talk about tonight, just a very quick level of appreciation for an almost perfect show, and one which this podcast mirrors in that Troy is a little bit like Jonathan Davies in QI, and it's just absolutely perfect level of show.
Can I guess? Jonathan Creek.
No, it's QI.
Oh, here it is.
It's QI.
It's QI. That's minus 100 points
Why?
to Ben.
I'm going to put the dunce cap on right now. I just have to get it measured for my big head.
So Stephen Fry, Jonathan Davies, all of the guests that they have on, just a fantastic premise of showing you a little bit of stuff you didn't necessarily know or things which you had misconceptions about. All sorts of ways of just adding a little bit to knowledge and doing so in a really funny, entertaining manner. Who else is a fan?
Yeah,
I love it.
That show.
It makes me feel intelligent. It's like Horrible Histories. You learn things as you go along and have a good laugh at the same time, really, don't you?
It is kind of a more, it's a bit more of a grown-up version of Horrible Histories, basically.
And it makes me feel smug, like a posh boy as well when I watch it. Very clever.
You feel, oh yes, you feel good.
I'm a posh boy.
I think the idea of it being this quiz show, which is like you can go into minus points in absolute insane numbers and all sorts of things about it that are just the way each one's focused around a letter, like it really, really does work.
QI was once described as somehow managing to escape from Radio 4. Was how he described it, because you've got loads of stuff like that on Radio 4. And this is the only one that's kind of made it to the mainstream and stuck.
It's just a brilliant show. And
I'm going to say something controversial though, Dan. Let's see whether you agree or not. I've actually preferred it since Sandy Toksvig took over. I've enjoyed it more. I love Stephen Fry with a passion. You know I do.
It's a national treasure.
Ooh, okay, Tom. Okay.
Dan and I, what was this? 10, 11 years ago? We went to see Stephen Fry do his show at the Royal Albert Hall, didn't we?
Yeah.
One of the best nights ever. So much fun. Absolutely loved it. But
just before, after he was in Doctor Who. See, I got it in there. But
I had no idea he'd been in Doctor Who because I'm not that.
Here we go.
Tick. Go on.
But no, this was like, it was such a big show that it got beamed back to other countries and stuff.
Yeah.
And somehow Dan managed to get us tickets to it. I can't remember how, but he managed it. And it was great fun. We absolutely loved it. But I don't know, I like Sandy Toksvig as the host more. I really do.
Okay, well, I'm not going to argue with you, but I have a slightly different opinion, which is I can't choose between those two.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that. They're very different people.
I literally can't choose between them. They're both amazing.
Sorry, I feel like we're in the middle of divorced parents right now.
No, they're having fun. They're enjoying it, man.
Just stay quiet and come with me into the cupboard. It'll be okay soon.
You have had.
Okay, Ben, that's just a very boring
Don't go into the cupboard.
That's how the Ben. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Oh man.
And now I feel really dirty.
Oh, I feel so bad now.
Yeah. Anyway, getting things.
A close shake for Troy there.
I know that was cool.
Back on track.
Getting things back to sanity. That's all I really wanted to
Oh
say.
yeah, this is supposed to get replaced, isn't it? Who should get replaced by?
Is she? Haven't heard of
Yeah.
that.
I
Haven't heard
she's
that
down,
either.
I think, apparently.
I hope it's Ross Noble.
Why?
I don't know. I love Ross Noble, but I don't think he'd make a great quiz host. He's too irreverent. He's too, him sticking to a script just would not happen.
I don't know. Maybe.
Trust me. I once again. Absolutely.
Oh, stop! I just searched it. Was it? It said it supposed to be. Was it?
What?
I thought I saw something, but no. No, go on. Continue.
Okay. Thank you.
Sidetrack.
About the show. It does mean there's less Jonathan Creek though, because he spent so much time on this show. It means he could be doing more Jonathan Creek. So I kind of balancing it. I feel a bit sad if we don't get more Jonathan Creek.
It's a question of whether he wants to do more Jonathan Creek as well, to be honest.
Sorry, Jonathan Creek is a show about quality, not quantity.
But you're missing my joke. Right, it's okay. I let you both live.
Sorry, we apologise.
Fuck.
Yeah, anyway.
Go on, Dan.
Carrying on, I wanted to talk about another TV show, which is one that's a bit sort of lost in the mists of time. But whenever I saw it the first time, it peeled my hair back. Something shifted.
If this is lost, you are going to get lynched. You realise?
I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready for this. Let's go.
Get my torches ready.
Bearing that in mind, this show really peeled my hair back, and I've seen it 2 or 3 times the whole way through since.
Oh god, it is lost.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
It explores some really interesting concepts about how people view the world around them whenever they don't really know what's going on in any way, shape, or form. And it's a documentary by BBC called "All Watched Over by Machines of Loving Grace."
Whoa, all watched over.
Ooh. Okay, Dan. Okay.
By Loving Grace.
Yeah. All watched
Machines
over.
of Loving Grace. Yeah.
Yeah, based on a poem by Richard Brautigan.
All watched over by Loving Grace.
Machines of Loving Grace.
Oh, just tell me
watched
off the air,
over
man.
by Machines of Love and Grace.
Tell me when we're off the air. Go ahead.
And yeah, it's a fantastic documentary by a dude called Adam Curtis, I believe.
Okay.
And he is, Adam Curtis. He is a documentary maker. He has done some others as well, which I haven't seen anything of, and I'm gonna have a look at and get back to you on. But it's all about how we have these systems that we tend to shape our society and stuff around, and it looks into concepts by people like Ayn Rand and Alan Greenspan and the Clintons, and it goes into sort of levels of talking about how people like Richard Dawkins and the selfish gene and how that came to be and all this sort of stuff. And it's doing all of that to try and look at how we went looking for a way of building a world which was based off of machines and making machines autonomous and able to look after us. And there was this sort of very Randian hero-esque style. We can become really selfish, but also be doing everyone a favor at the same time.
Okay.
And how in different ways this has very unconsciously been used to control entire societies for an awfully long time. And also what it means on a more biological and genetic level, and how cybernetics has helped us to unlock the human genome. And it gets to some really, really crazy places. And there's no way I can describe it really all that well, other than to say it's 3 episodes long.
Okay.
Each episode is an hour.
Okay.
It was originally released in May of 2011. And it's just absolutely incredible. It basically argues this whole thing about computers failing humanity in terms of what humanity thought computers would do for them. Because really the humans have failed to take all of the like things into account that would affect the things they're trying to do, the systems they're trying to build. Like, it goes into all of the communes that happened in America, where people just up and left in their early 20s and went to try and live in these communes where there was no hierarchical structure and all sorts of stuff.
Just machines.
Like, they basically looking at themselves as cogs in a machine, and no one had authority, everyone working towards a whole. They failed, of course. Like those communes all failed because natural power struggles happened between people.
That sounds like a supermarket. That sounds like a working in a supermarket. Power struggles.
That's the thing, though, because the thing with that, there'll be a power vacuum in it. Someone's got to take that kind of power. Someone's going to.
Sounds like Waitrose, Troy.
This is the kind of thing it starts discussing. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. That, oh my god, I'm gonna check that out.
Makes you want to go and watch Devs. That's another show that I want to watch soon. Actually, it sounds like something that would really make me think a lot. Yeah. Okay.
I love stuff like that. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring some eyes towards that because it's really worth a watch. It might be confusing. It might be a mess. And in the end, like, take it with a pinch of salt, because in the end, Adam Curtis is a little bit of a Randian hero himself in his own mind.
A bit of a radical,
So he's a little bit taken up with his own sort of fantasy and his own ideology and his conclusions. So there's plenty of holes to poke in the theories that happen in this, but really, go have a look at it. It's just awesome.
Okay, so far, thank you, Dan. So far, the first three, one big name, one small name. Lovely. So, Tom, you've got to have one. Let's see if you can follow it up.
No, I can't, and no, I won't.
Perfect. Dark horseshoe. Right. What do you have in your...
So, I've gone... Well, I would consider both of these people to be big names that I'm going to talk about, but they might not be quite so well known to others. So the first one is a very, very little known BBC show called Neverwhere, which came out in the mid-90s. Neverwhere. It was one series. It was only 6 episodes long. It was an idea by Lenny Henry.
Oh, so it's not about the sex with Gary Neville and Phil Neville go missing and they have to go find him? No. Okay.
But it's not written by Lenny Henry. It was his idea, but it was written by a guy called Neil Gaiman.
Oh, Neil Gaiman did that.
I love Neil Gaiman. You've got me on board already.
So here we go. This was one of his first TV things that he did, was writing this show called Neverwhere. And basically, the basic premise is, it starts off that this guy comes from Scotland, moves to London, and he wonders to himself as he's coming down whether there's really a circus, Oxford Circus, things like that. You know, kind of weird stuff. When he gets to London, he's living a normal life. He's got a job. He's got a girlfriend. He's doing all that kind of stuff. And the story is about how there's 2 Londons. There's the London we know, which is called London Above. And then there's a whole other London, which is called London Below, which is completely different. And
the underground, as we call it.
Was that? Yeah, well, it's sort of. The underground plays a big part in this show. So basically, there's another character called Door, who has the power to magically create doors where there is no door and go through it, things like that, so she can escape. She's being chased by a couple of murderers, and she's trying to get away from them. She ends up in London Above by mistake. And the thing about people from London Below is people from London Above don't notice them. So lots of homeless people actually are from London Below, and they come up and they're able to maybe get a little bit of money, but that's why people ignore them so much. Yeah. It's kind of the idea. Anyway, he ends up helping her, and it completely wrecks his life in London Above. He basically becomes a nobody, a no person. People have forgotten he ever existed. People at his job don't know who he is. They can't even see him half the time. If they do see him, they forget him the second he's turned his back on them. It's really weird. So he ends up going into London Below to try and find this woman again to help. And he has to do things like, the worst place in London is Knightsbridge in London Below, because there's a bridge defended by a knight that kills people.
Knightsbridge.
Yeah. And he ends up going to Earl's Court, which is a court, half of. And that's the whole premise is basically London Underground stations being real places.
Elephant and Castle.
He has to go and win a battle for a key that is looked after by a group of Black Friars, and it's like, but no, it sounds really odd, but
that sounds amazing, man.
It's proper crazy fantasy stuff, and I mean it's got an amazing cast as well. So the guy who actually played the main character, he really hasn't been in much else since, but the main woman, this was one of her first roles, a woman called Laura Fraser.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know her. She was in A Knight's Tale. She's been in Breaking Bad. She's been in lots of big things. This was her big break, really, in British TV.
Breaking Bad, literally.
Yeah, but there's another character who's my favourite called the Marquis de Carabas, who's played by Patterson Joseph.
Oh,
yes, my guy.
If you know Peep Show, you know Patterson Joseph.
Yeah.
This is him.
If you watch any British TV, you will have seen Patterson Joseph.
Right,
He's amazing. Anyway, please continue.
He was not that well known at this point. He was still quite early in a lot of these people's careers.
Yeah.
And it's a few other people like Clive Russell is in it as a murderer, and it's weird. It's a very weird show. It's also got Tamsin Greig in one of her first roles playing like a vampire, and it's like really weird. It's also, and you're gonna love this because I know the next words that will come out of your mouth after I've said this name. It's Peter Capaldi is also in this.
Go on, man.
We know what he's going to do.
Yeah,
it was made in 1996, though, so this is quite old, isn't it?
Yeah. He actually. Well, I don't. If you're going to go and watch it, I won't spoil it.
Yeah.
Please do, because I'm going to read the book as well.
So I'm not going to spoil it, but he's brilliant in it, and yeah.
Had me at London.
Can I also just put a shout in for that book?
Yeah,
it's a very good book.
That book is amazing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Neil Gaiman's actually rewritten it like 4 or 5 times.
Oh wow!
I'm reading a book series based on this, not because somebody read this book Neverwhere about the underground. There's a series of books called Ramabit. It's a hard name to say. Rivers of London series about magic in London and undergrounds.
Yeah.
I love that, and that's getting a TV show by Netflix next year, and I can't bloody wait. So yes, I will watch this after we're done here. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know where you'd find it. I think it was done by the BBC.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it was.
I can't be certain. You will find it. It's not that difficult to find.
It's Neverwhere. It's on YouTube. It's Neverwhere. Keep going, please.
I'm going.
My jokes are terrible. Just keep going.
So yeah, that's my first recommendation.
Okay.
My second one is kind of connected to that because I absolutely love Neil Gaiman, but in 1990 he teamed up with one of the best fantasy writers in the universe.
Gosh, where are we going with this?
To write a book called Good Omens.
Good Omens.
Which was turned into a TV show last year with David Tennant and Michael Sheen playing the 2 main roles, and my God, is it good! Now, like I say, Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman teamed up together to write that book. When it came to being done, it was a joint thing between Amazon and the BBC. When they came to do that, Neil Gaiman was the writer of the script. So it's still got that feel that's right. And I know this book happens to be one of Dan's favourite of all time. I'm fully aware of this.
Mm-hmm.
So he might...
It's also, can I point out another record it holds?
Go on.
By any British author, it is the most lent or given book of all time.
It is awesome. It is absolutely awesome. So, yeah, like I say, I love Terry Pratchett. I love Neil Gaiman. So the two of them working together is absolutely brilliant. I think Pratchett kind of led the way for people like Gaiman to be able to do this stuff. But the basic premise of the show is you've got an angel called Aziraphale and a demon called initially Crawley, and then he changes it to Crowley. And it's all to do with the last 11 years before the apocalypse. And yeah, it's these two guys, they're not supposed to be friends. They're supposed to not noticed each other, but they've actually been mates pretty much since the first day in the Garden of Eden when Crowley convinced Eve to eat an apple, and Aziraphale lent them his burning sword so they would be all right when they got kicked out. And it just continues like that the whole way through. It's absolutely Aziraphale is a fop, and Crowley is like uber cool, and David Tennant and Michael Sheen, they couldn't hit it more perfectly if they tried. David Tennant especially is just
both of them were absolutely perfect in their role. I wouldn't have cast Cian.
No, you wouldn't have thought to, but he's amazing.
I would have if I had my absolute choice. I would have still cast Tennant as Crowley. But I would have cast Sims.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Just to have that interplay.
Yeah, no, I can see that. But I think Michael Sheen does an amazing job.
The thing is that.
Go on.
David Tennant's, but this is beginning to turn into the We Love David Tennant podcast. I mean, how much more can we say about David Tennant at this point?
David Tennant is one of the best actors in the world. How can you not love David Tennant?
I know. That's a great thing. He's my favourite actor.
He's amazing.
His range is incredible.
Yep.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
So, yeah. But, I mean, like I say, David Tennant plays like Crowley almost sounds like he just doesn't give a shit the whole time. He's like, yeah, man, cool, whatever. But he actually does panic quite a lot. The other thing that I love about the TV show, and I wasn't such a big fan of in the book, was any CD that is in his car, no matter what it is, turns into Queen's greatest hits within 5 minutes. So literally, no matter what he's listening, he could be listening to classical music, he will turn into Another One Bites the Dust or whatever. And when I read it in the book, I felt like it was a criticism. In the TV show, I thought, because Queen are one of my favourite bands of all time. Absolutely, in the TV show, I absolutely loved it because they never made it as a critical thing.
No, it added to the cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad you said that because I was about to circle you and find out where you live and come and murder you. But you said you like Queen, so it's okay.
It's one of the greatest bands of all time.
Queen is straight classic.
I was going to come and hang you with your belt buckle, but it's okay, Tom. You live for another day.
Anyway, yeah. So basically, what it is the basic premise is Crowley is supposed to deliver the Antichrist to be given to a politician's wife, and he gives the basket to a stupid nun who gives it to the wrong person, and the Antichrist ends up growing up somewhere in, I can't even remember the name of the town anymore, but it's some tiny little village, and it has no effect on him, and so basically they spent like 11 years trying to influence this kid who isn't the Antichrist, and they turn out just to be a normal kid, and then realize they've got like 3 weeks till the apocalypse, and they don't know what this kid is going to do because they haven't been monitoring him. Tadfield, thank you. And yeah, it's just so good. You've got the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse are in it, and it's just it's such a good read. It's so silly. The book is amazing, and I recommend reading it. The TV show, very rarely have I seen such a good adaptation of a book. The changes that they made in it from the book worked for the next TV. Yeah, they all made sense. Nothing was done just because they didn't like something. And, I would say watch it. It's available on BBC iPlayer at the moment. It's probably still available on Amazon Prime as well.
Definitely.
Amazon, you can't miss it. Literally, every time I watch Amazon, an episode, it comes up.
They're advertising it. They love it.
Yeah, well, that's because it cost them a fortune to make. So they're trying to make their money back. But
it's just wonderful, and everybody needs to see it, to be honest. Absolutely everybody needs to see it. It needs to be an instant classic. We need to be talking about it as the best of British.
Can we also applaud the BBC for keeping their shows up for about a year now when they're broadcast instead of like a couple of weeks? Because Good Omens, Noughts and Crosses, Devs, his shows that I'm gonna watch I May Destroy You soon. But these type of shows are staying for a whole year, gives people plenty of time to watch them, and we should applaud them for that.
Yep. But like I say, Good Omens and Neverwhere, go and watch them. They are both worth the time.
Before we finish, can I just tell you, when you first said it, I thought you said Neville. Neville wear. That's where I made the Phil Neville, Gary Neville joke.
Okay, no, that's all right. No, never wear. Like
Neville's in
like,
the underwear.
like the word anywhere, but never instead of any.
I thought it was Gary and Phil Neville in their pants wearing nothing.
That's because you just have a very, very twisted
imagination. Your fantasies aside, right?
I know Ben's mind is warped, guys. Sorry.
Feel free to go with Phil and Gary in their pants into the cupboard. That's absolutely fine with us.
We need to do some weird stuff, guys.
We're taking Troy with us, Ben.
I have
hey, don't leave me. Don't leave me.
I have a question. Please. Well, how did Troy get out the cupboard in the first place? He wasn't here last week. Well, welcome back. I should have said that.
That's because of the power cut. We had it on one of those.
Yeah, power cut, man. Come on.
The power cut released the door. That's how.
And then the time is done now. Yeah. Well, we're going to make sure there's a power cut again, so he can get back in there. No, I'm joking. Yeah. So that's it for us this week. We'll be back next week. So it's goodbye from me.
Bye from me.
Bye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And good night.